You are listening to What's Next? Conversations with Boomers, and I'm Barb Desmarais, your host. Those of us who are boomers, we listen to the crooners. At least that's what our parents listened to. Frank Sinatra, Bing Crosby, Dean Martin, all those people. These are household names for us. So crooners are big in our boomer world. Today, we've got something really special and something we haven't done before. We have John Michael Ferrari with us. And who is John Michael Ferrari? So John Michael is from Nevada. He is, can I tell your age, John?
Absolutely.
77 years old and crooning. And he is touring. He is very active. And he is being considered for a Grammy. So we are so excited to have you because this is such a fun story. So John Michael, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I love being here.
First of all, talk to us about being considered for the Grammy nomination. That is a big feat. What was the process like, and how did you find out that you were in the running?
You know, opportunities always happen by happenstance. Somebody sees you, somebody recommends you, and that's what this was. After all these years, just playing music, playing in clubs, the moment came. We recorded all of our songs in Nashville. We started getting a lot of radio play. And when that happens, people notice you. People have the ability to submit you for things like this. We won many awards, and we were friends with somebody called Eric Zuley, and he introduced us from somebody from Sony, Cassandra Cooper. And she listened to my songs, and she thought, this is worthy of a Grammy submission. And she talked to us, and she said, I think I can get us into the first round, get past that, and get introduced to the Grammy voters. And that's how it came about. Somebody's introduced somebody else to somebody else who introduced us to us and noticed what we were doing, and just luck. A lot of it's luck, and attitude.
Being at the right place at the right time, connecting with the right people.
Yeah. It's always that way. Somebody just happens to give you that opportunity, open the door a little bit. And when they do that, you have to be prepared and be ready, to take that step. Because the more successful you get, the more responsible you have to be to other people. It's just not yourself. It's like doing this show. You get up early in the morning, or whatever it is, you have to be responsible because people are counting on you because they're recommending you for a particular thing. And it's wonderful. I love what I do. I wanted success when I was a teenager. But, when you're a teenager in your 20s, you don't have the experience you have when you're 77 years old. I'm a much better musician now, much better songwriter, everything now that I'm older. When you're younger, you're going off raw talent, not experience, because you haven't had that experience yet. There's certain drawbacks, but, I'm happy that it's happening now. I mean, there were times in my career where I wanted to give up because I got discouraged, and I would, kind of slow down for a while and then let the momentum build up again and come back and try it again. But I didn't have the strategy, and Pepper J took me to the highest level as an independent artist. We've been together for 30-some years. 30-some.
Really?
Yes. She found me when I was playing in a little club right outside of Palm Springs. It was a resort, very much like in Dirty Dancing, that kind of resort.
Yeah.
I was the guy, Johnny. I wasn't the dancer. I was the singer.
Yeah. So you're a team.
Yeah, and she came to me and she said, you're really good, but I can make you better. And,
wow.
And she did. She took me from being a little lounge act to playing main showrooms and things like that, learning the craft. And we did that for many years. But, you have to make a decision. How long are you going to play cover songs? Because a lot of groups, a lot of individuals start out playing cover songs. The Beatles started out playing cover songs. The Eagles started out playing cover songs. The Rolling Stones. I mean, most people start off doing cover songs. Then they make the transition. Are they going to continue playing cover songs? Or are they going to do original songs? Because once you start doing original songs, it puts you in a whole different category. But when you get there, there's a new strategy that you have to employ to get the results you want. And both of us were not familiar with this new strategy, so we're learning. We know the old strategy of how to get jobs and bookings and play in clubs and doing cover songs. But this is a whole new strategy that we're learning how to do. But the strategy we used got us here. Got us to where we're at now. Got us to Nashville, recording our songs, surrounding ourselves with talented people. And now we're just enjoying the process.
Although nothing wrong with covers. We all, those of us, the audience, we like covers if it's done well. But you're right, original music and hearing it from the person who wrote it is something quite different. What was your career before?
I've always been in music. There was a time when work was thin, and I bartended for a while. I drove a limousine for a while. As a musician, you do what you need to do. You learn other trades, and that's what you do until your career starts to pick up again.
Right. You need to do something to pay the rent, live. Yeah.
In my earlier career, back in the 70s, it was easy to get work because every club, every steakhouse had a guitar player and a musician in the corner. And you played Jim Croce songs, Don Denver songs. You played, whatever songs that were on the radio. You knew all the songs. So it was easy to get work. I worked in Orange County for a group called Far West Services. And it was the steakhouse, Reuben's Steakhouse. And they just moved you from steakhouse to steakhouse. And back then, I was getting paid $75 or $150 a night, and my rent was only $160. So I was doing very well.
Your rent was $160.
Yeah, back in the 70s,
70s,
people are still getting paid $75 a night and $100 a night, but their rent is, $2,000 a month.
Right.
If we kept up with inflation, we'd be getting $2,000 a night, but that's not happening. Everybody wants to be nominated for the Grammys. And first they were going to nominate me for oldest, best new artist. Well, they looked at my career and they said, well, he's not really a best new artist because he's been around for a long time. So they actually put me in a different category, which was solo pop performer. It's still at 77 years old coming out of the gate, that's pretty nice because there's a lot of people in there is still in their 20s. It's a young person's game, but it doesn't mean that us older people can't get into it also. You get the right people who recommend you. And again, when you're talking with musicians who've been around for a long time, they have the experience, they have the knowledge. I have the experience of learning how to play all those songs from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. I know the chord structures, I know the format, how they were put together. So I use all that knowledge. Somebody who's young and only listen to today's music, they're only familiar with today's music. I'm familiar with a whole, many decades of music. So I incorporate that in my songwriting.
That's so great. I just love that, at 77, you're still, going strong and have ambition and touring, right? You tour.
Yeah, we do. We do different shows now. When you're in a band, usually you do a 4 or 5 hour slots. It's a long time. When you're doing shows, you do anywhere from 20 minutes to 40 minutes to an hour and a half. And then you're off stage. But it's all original material, so it's a little bit different. I like doing shorter shows. You get older, you you want to get to bed earlier.
And so does your audience probably.
Yes.
Is your audience mostly boomers?
No, it's surprising. Sometimes we'll do a show in Vegas and it's a bunch of young people, and they love the music because, oh, I haven't heard this. This is nice because it's a
Yeah.
combination of, older music style with today's pop influence.
And they love it.
Yes, I think so. So in my audience, there are a lot of young people, a lot of boomers. It's a combination. We were just in where were we? Amsterdam, and
Amsterdam.
we just got back from Amsterdam.
Oh, wow.
We were over there and had a lot of people come up to me and they say, "I listen to your music all the time," and I mean,
Oh,
they're young people, and say, "I love your songs," and they're enjoyable to listen to, and it makes you feel good.
that's wonderful. Gosh, was this ever your dream to be, I mean, going back to the being considered for a Grammy, was this something that you dreamt about when you first started performing?
I would watch the people getting Grammy awards, but I never thought, how do I do that? How do I
Yeah,
get there? I mean,
yeah,
that was a road I didn't know anything about, and Pepper J didn't know much about it. It wasn't until we met Cassandra Cooper that she introduced us to this new opportunity. That says, "No, I can put you with people that will, vote for you, and at least that gets you into the running, with something we've never had before." And so it's new to us.
hmm
But in the song that has been accepted is the song called "When Love Is Love," and it's
mm. So who was your main inspiration for songwriting, and how did that inform your music today?
well, I was listening to last night. I was listening to an interview by uh, Creedence Clearwater, John Fogerty.
Oh gosh, that used to be one of my very favorite bands in the 70s.
Mine too. And he was an hour and a half interview, and I listened to the whole thing. And they asked him the same question, and his answer was the same as mine. We were influenced by Elvis, we were influenced by the Beatles,
Yeah.
all these, we were all influenced by the same people. Um, and that's how I started. It was Ricky Nelson and all those.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And what about the crooners, like our parents' generation music?
Oh, absolutely. When you mentioned Nat King, you have
Bing Crosby, Frank Sinatra.
all those people. I mean, they were still around, and they were as big as the Beatles,
Yeah.
back in their
Eh,
time.
Oh
So,
yeah.
and there's a lot to learn by listening to them. You listen to Tony Bennett, oh, Johnny Mathis. Oh my
Johnny
gosh.
Mathis, yeah.
I mean, these are people you listen to and how they phrase their songs, the quality of their voice, and at the same time, I would be in rock and roll bands singing rock and roll music, Johnny Be Good and all kinds of things. But I always would go back to singing the love songs, the ballads. I was influenced by a lot of that, and then later on, I started getting influenced by the arrangers, the people who would arrange music.
Arrange the music. Ah.
I thought, oh, what are they doing in there? I mean, I hear the string lines, I hear this going on, and all these different things. And I was intrigued with that. Um, so I was influenced by not only the singers and performers and the songs, I was intrigued by the construction of the music, how it was put together. And when you listen to that, I didn't know what it was happening. I just thought it was interesting. But as I started learning more about music and theory and everything, I understood how all that came together, and that's how I became interested in arranging music. So when I sit and write out the music, I could hear the string parts, the horn parts. If you listen to "When Love Is Love," there's a lot of intricate parts in there, but I had to make that happen. I had to put those in there. After we went to Nashville, after musicians recorded the song, I had to come back to our studio and re-record many of the parts because I heard other things that needed to go in there. But I only could do that because of the experience, the years of experience I've had in music, and understood how to arrange music and how it fit together.
Are you self-taught, John Michael?
It was all self-taught. And
Self-taught.
and the biggest thing when the computers started to come out in the in the early 80s,
Yeah.
I was performing in a place called Mount Charleston Lodge here in Las Vegas. And I had a big computer and I had the software and I started programming my music so I could have the bass parts, the drum parts, the little guitar parts while I played. And I was playing at this lodge and I was on a break and this gentleman comes up to me and he said, "What is all this? All this computer stuff, it's generating music." And I go, "Yeah, this is the future." And he said, "I've never seen anything like it." And I'm the conductor, head music person at the UNLV music school. And he said, "I've never seen this before."
University of Las Vegas?
Yeah, it's all new to him. He's never saw that. I said, "You're going to see a lot of it because it's going to change the world."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So he went back to his classroom. I'm sure he introduced this to his students. But that's how I
Yeah.
learned. Computer taught me because once I started to be able to sit there and program music, I started to understand the theory behind it. And I thought, it's not that complicated. It's nothing is that complicated if somebody understands and explains it to you.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Take the time to really look at it to its easiest terms, find something that you already know and try to identify it with that. It's like learning electricity. If you identify with electricity with the way the flow of water goes, you can put the two together and visualize, oh yeah, I see how electricity flows and water flows the same way, kind of same thing. What music is that? If you break it down to its easiest elements, it's not that difficult. What's difficult is to learn.
Well, but I would think, John Michael, that not everybody has the ability to do that, to do the arranging. That's a whole other level, I would say. I know nothing about music. I mean, I can't sing a note, and I love music, but I would think that, being a singer and doing covers, not that it doesn't require talent, obviously it does. Arranging music, that's got to be a whole other category, right?
What it takes is an interest in doing it. If you don't have an interest,
well, that's the same with everything, isn't it?
yeah. Yeah, if you have an interest and a curiosity, like how does that go together? How does that work? If you listen to my songs, they're simple, but there's a complexity in there where people say, "Oh my gosh, you made a chord change and you're in this key now, and then you went to that key, and then you're coming back to this key." And like, how do you do that? I had a musician from Nashville says, "How'd you learn to do all this? They didn't teach us in music school." I said, I just hear it.
So what has been your biggest challenge that you've come across in pursuing music in the 21st century? Has it been the technology? What have you found the most challenging in doing this in it's not 1960 anymore?
Well, I don't see it as much as a challenge as an opportunity because, as now we have AI,
Yeah.
and we have all these other things to help us out. Although we never use AI for our composing, our creativity for the music, but you can certainly use it for other things. There's a lot of things that you have an opportunity to use computers today in a way that you've never had before, and that enhances your ability to be creative. So it's challenging, but also it's fun. It's interesting. We're living in such a wonderful time of technology, and we can use our creativity and technology together. What's difficult is learning it sometimes. It's like, especially when you go on YouTube and you get impatient with the people who are teaching it. Like, just get to the point. Just get to the point.
Yeah.
Don't tell me about your dog. Like the walk you took this morning. I want to learn. Tell me.
Yeah.
What this is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's a lot of tutorials on YouTube to learn almost anything, and it's magical. And I find it interesting. It's interesting to be able to have that opportunity to expand your brain and learn all these new things, the technology. It takes a little while to get in there and understand what they're trying to say, but once you do, it's something you can really use.
And this is good for all of us in this age category to be learning new things, right? This keeps our brain active.
Well, you get older, you got to keep that brain going,
You
and
got to keep that brain going. That's right.
you got to
That's
learn new
right.
things, and like Pepper was saying, she said, let's go square dancing. That's good for your brain. So we do that. We got usually Tuesday nights is square dancing night. We go out.
Square dancing.
Yeah,
Good
because
for
you got to
you.
remember all the moves. You got to listen to
All the
all
moves.
the
That's
moves.
right. Yeah.
So yeah, we're out there square dancing, doing all these different things. We try to stay active. You know,
It sounds like it.
we take our long walks. I go to the gym frequently. We do everything we can. I rehearse a lot. I do my dance moves because I dance on stage. I move on stage. My tap dancing, all these different things. You
Good
know,
for you. Well, you look great. You look fabulous for
I
77.
feel good.
Wow.
I feel good. Thank you. The
That's
both of
good.
us.
And what about your family and friends? Is everybody supportive of this work that you're doing?
Everybody, especially if you
Everybody.
go, especially if you go to Nashville. You think you have a rivalry there, but you meet a lot of supportive songwriters, and everybody's rooting for you. And because they know, the thing about Nashville and the music business, if you get an opportunity, you turn around and give somebody else an opportunity. Yeah,
Mm.
that's makes you feel good, and people do that in Nashville. Somebody gets a contract or somebody brings you in on their writing session because it's going to help their career. To have their name associated with your name, or somebody else has you get your name associated with somebody else's name. They're giving you an opportunity. They're trying to get you to introduce you to somebody else. If everybody helps each other, we all benefit. And
Absolutely. Yeah. That's the best kind of environment you want to be around where everybody support each other and providing opportunities, as you said. And we can't do any of these things alone, right, John Michael?
oh, absolutely, it doesn't
We
have.
need other people.
When I get awards, and we've gotten quite a few awards, the first thing I do when I get up there to accept the award, give an acceptance speech, is I say, you see me up here, but I'm just one person. There was a whole lot of people.
Yeah.
There was the recording studio, there's the musicians, there's the session leader, there's the engineers, there's the mixing engineer, there's Pepper J who's doing the producing. Uh, I mean, it's like every step of the way has to go together, has to mean something, and then you have to promote it. I mean, so many people along the way. We have so many wonderful people helping us, especially with the nomination coming up. Pepper once told me one time. She said, the hardest thing to get in this business, living in LA, is recognition for what you do. So
Hmm.
whenever we do anything, Pepper always puts down people's names if we're on, like who was on that session. If you look it up, you'll see all the different musicians and all the people. We try to give recognition to everybody we touch so they get their name out there also. So that way, if somebody puts their name in, whatever they worked with us, they're going to get credit for it.
Everybody gets acknowledged.
Yeah, everybody
Yeah.
gets it.
Yeah. And there's many working parts obviously in what you're doing, and everybody has a vital role towards creating the product, which is you,
Yeah. And I
right?
have to stay healthy and ready to go all the time.
You ready to go?
And
Yeah.
traveling wears you down. I mean, we do a lot of traveling.
Oh,
We go a lot of different places. The air travel, the go running through the airports, missing the plane, trying to get your luggage there, and leaving your purse on the plane.
air travel can be stressful. Yeah.
Her
Yeah.
favorite few words are, "Where's my purse? Where's my
Where's my
phone?"
purse?
We hear that a lot. Where's my phone? I think it's on the plane. But
Oh
interesting
dear.
story. She did. We left our luggage. We were at the in Alaska, and we were on getting ready to board the plane. And she said, "Well, where's our luggage?" I said, "Well, I think they put it on the plane." And I said, "Well, we don't see it." But luckily, we had air tags.
Oh, Good for
And
you.
so we pulled up the phone and I pushed the button, and it says, "Our luggage is still at the hotel."
Oh no. Oh. Well,
So
thank
we,
goodness for air tags. Wow.
yes, absolutely. So, we told somebody and they rushed back to the hotel and got our luggage and brought it to us, So it's stressful.
Yeah.
It's fun, but it's stressful.
I
I
bet
mean,
you that part is one of the most stressful parts is the travel and all that is entailed in traveling.
well, it is because, you're 9 hours on the plane sometimes. We went to Amsterdam, it was 9, 10 hours on the plane. And if you have to transfer to another plane, then you have a layover. It could be 2 or 3 hours there. Prague, Budapest. Uh,
Wow.
we go around a lot,
You've been everywhere. So, because I was going to ask you, because you said you just came back from Amsterdam. I was going to ask you, do you often tour and perform in Europe? And it sounds like yes, you do.
Yeah, Pepper keeps me busy.
She
Yes.
does. Wow.
And sometimes I don't know where we're going, where we're doing until just to go, oh, by the way, we're going to, you know. But it's fun. I'm doing more traveling now that we're older than when I was younger.
Where do you live, John Michael?
We live in a place called Pahrump, Nevada. It's about
Nevada. Oh,
45 miles
oh.
right outside of Las Vegas. We live on a ranch. When COVID hit, this was when our opportunity came to us. Um, I was sitting in the living room. We were living in LA at the time. And she came in, she says, let's do original songs and go to Nashville and record these. And I was taking a break because, I was just kind of burned out doing cover songs. And I started to work on my original songs. Pahrump, there's not a lot to do. We have a beautiful ranch here. And so I thought this is a perfect time to take opportunity to really get into my music and write things. So I wrote 10 new songs, and she said, we're going to Nashville. And this is when COVID hit. We recorded the songs, and we hired a radio promoter.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, well, this is not a good time because all the major people are pulling back their music. And then he thought for a minute. He said, but, this may be an opportunity because all the major people are pulling back their music and there's a big void in the industry right now. And so we pushed one song. Pepper said, well, let's take this song and see if we can get it out there. It was entitled So Beautiful. And he said, all right, let's see if they'll pick it up, now that you don't have that much competition.
Mm.
And within 2 months, we hit the charts. Our first song,
Wow.
we hit the national radio chart, and we came in as 198, I think. It was out of 200. But we were on the
Wow.
charts. And, and Taylor Swift and all these other people they were on the top. But we were at the very bottom. But we were so happy that we were made the national chart just to be there,
Absolutely.
And if nothing else ever happened, that was our exciting moment,
Mm-hmm.
And each week we'd watch it go up, So, oh my gosh, it's going up. Now we're in the top 100, and now we're in the top 50. Now we're in the top 40, and
Wow.
now we're number 2. And
Wow.
and they said, we need another song. Got to get another song out there. So we put another song, the same thing. It hit the charts and it started climbing. We put another song, hit the charts, started climbing. There was a void, so the radio stations and people were curious on who's this new guy who's promoting themselves, and let's give a listen to, because we have a void. And so that opportunity came to us because of what the industry what was happening to the industry. I was introduced to the radio stations and to a new audience. And so every time we put out a song, it got on the charts. Almost every one of our songs have hit the charts.
And this was an opportunity created by COVID.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. A lot of good things came out of COVID.
We recorded just before COVID. We didn't know it was going to happen, but when the industry, closed up and the radio stations had play music. They needed new music, and I'm sure it happened for other artists as well at the same time, you know. And here's the thing: when I tell people when you're going to write songs, you have to know your goal. Do you want to write songs for radio, or just for your own pleasure, or what genre of music are you playing
Mm,
for?
hmm.
So we write for radio play. There's a certain format for a certain structure that requires to be played on the radio. You know,
Oh, I see.
so when you follow that, you know, radios are interested because they want that, and we follow those rules, and we get radio play. We were very fortunate that we get all this radio play, like When Love Is Love, getting a lot of radio play.
Fantastic. So what's your favorite song to perform?
Well, it varies, you know, on my mood. You know, sometimes I get sentimental and I'll pull up one of my older songs and I'll throw that in the show. I'm just very fortunate. You know, I'm enjoying life and my music now more uh, than any other time because it was a struggle before. It's not a struggle now. It's just a
Finally.
process we enjoy, you know, because we don't need the music career to survive. You know, we're older. We've made good investments. We have nice passive income. You know, we have all these things. So it's not like we're struggling musicians, although it's nice to get recognition. It's nice to get those little checks in the mail, no, not in the mail anymore. It's all computerized.
Yeah,
But, you know,
yeah.
additional income for performing is good. But even without that, I mean, we have really nice life together.
That's wonderful. Do you get a lot of requests? Do you take requests?
Yes, you know, a lot of people say, what's that song? Peggy Sue's. It's a 6.5 minute song.
Peggy Sue.
No, here's the idea of the song. Okay, so if you're driving from L.A. to Las Vegas in Barstow, there's a little cafe called Peggy Sue's. It's a 50s diner.
Oh, oh,
And I wrote a song about stopping in there and running into an old girlfriend that I hadn't seen in years. And the story is about this singer-songwriter who he's kind of how do you describe him? He's vagabond, you know. He just he travels around doing his music and instead of staying in one place and having a relationship, he moves around singing and chasing a dream that never materialized. And he comes into into the cafe, and she says, "You may not remember me, but we used to be together." And he says, "Yeah, I remember you." And the story is that when he left her, he not only did he leave her, he left her with a child that he didn't
oh,
know that he had. And now she's remarried and she's happy, and he's looking back on his life and thought, you know, if I would have stayed, thinking how different my life would have been. And it's a whole 6.5 minute story. And I had trouble performing the song because it was so emotional that sometimes I would tear up singing the song.
oh.
So I stopped singing the song. It's difficult for me to sing. Now, when we did the song, we recorded the song in Nashville, our session leader said, "Well, you're never going to get radio play on this because it's a 6.5 minute song." And I said, "But
Too
that's
long.
not for it's not for radio. It's for people who buy the CD or there's something extra for them if they want to listen to the story." Well, many places like Australia, they played the song, but they played it in place of two songs because they have a certain
Oh,
amount of songs. They usually play three songs commercial, three songs commercial. So what they started doing is playing two songs and commercial, two songs because my song took up for two songs. So they'd play my song and one other one made up for three songs. So we started getting a lot of radio play. And if you listen to the song, it's a very interesting song, and it's difficult for me to sing. Very
wow.
emo
Wasn't there a song, an old song called Peggy Sue a long time ago? Or
Oh yeah, Buddy Holly.
Buddy Holly, yeah.
Oh, well, that the restaurant was named after that, you know, Peggy Sue's.
Oh,
occasionally I'll throw in a couple of cover songs in my show. I mean, I do
Hmm.
my original songs and I'll throw in, here's a song that influenced me, and I'll do a song, Can't Take My Eyes Off You by the Four Seasons, by, and I'll
That's a
throw
good
in,
one.
yeah, some of those classic songs.
Yeah.
Uh, and then I go back to the original songs. Because, sometimes people come to my shows and they're not familiar with my songs. So I give them something that they can connect with, something that's
Hmm.
familiar to them. But my songs are written in such a way, there's a familiarity to the songs because they're written in such a structure that's familiar to radio listeners. So after they hear the song once, they're like, "Oh yeah, they could sing along with it." And
Hmm.
that's being able to sing along with the chorus is an important
A
thing.
catchy melody you tend to want to hear again and sing along.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so what's next? What's next for you?
Well, we're going to Nashville in a couple of weeks. We're going to. What do you want me to do? This is. She's handing me something for your Grammy consideration. Pop solo performer John Michael Ferrari.
Oh,
That's
wow.
what we're working on now. We're
Yeah.
going to we're going to Nashville to the Josie Awards, being
The
held at the
Josie
Grand Ole
Awards.
being held at the Grand Ole Opry, and I'm up for an award, Songwriter of the Year,
Excellent.
finalist. Now we went there last year because we were in New York, and Pepper was going through some things on the internet, and she goes, Johnny, she said, "Did you know you're nominated for at the Josie Awards for this particular thing?" And I said, "No." She said, "When is it being held?" She says, "Tomorrow." So we jumped on a plane from New York and right to
Just like that.
Nashville. Yeah,
Let's go.
let's go. And so we all the seats were taken, so we finally got a seat at the Grand Ole Opry, but it was way in the back, way in the back. But we went there, and I didn't get the award, but it was nice to be nominated. So they nominated me again this year for Songwriter of the Year. So we're going and see if I can pick up one of those awards this time this year.
Well, the best of luck to you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, don't be surprised if you win. But even a nomination gives you, that much more recognition. Great. Okay. This has been so much fun talking to you, and I have deep admiration for what you do, John Michael, honestly. And you're a living example of you're never too old. You know, age is just a number, right?
It is, but along the way, you get discouraged, you get burned out
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Uh, there was a time when I came off the road and I told Pepper, I said, I don't think I can do this anymore. I'm just tired of it.
Mm.
And I needed to take a break. So I actually took a break for a couple of years. I stopped performing for a couple of years. But when I came back refreshed. And that's when, I started doing my own songs and everything. It's a journey. Everybody who stays on the journey is going to get discouraged. You're going to have disappointments along the way, but the disappointments don't mean that you should stop. It just means you to reevaluate your strategy of what you're doing. If something's not working, it's not because you don't have the talent. It's usually because of the strategy is not applicable to what your goals are. So you have to re-examine what you're doing and see how you need to change things. And making those changes will have the opportunity to open up another door and move forward. So it's
Mhm.
all about that, listening to what you're doing, what's working, what's not working, and make those changes that aren't working. And you move and keep moving forward with enthusiasm. Keeping that enthusiasm helps draw in all the other people around you. Having that motivation. People want
And
to
the
follow.
message is again, never give up, right?
Well, you never give up, even when you want to give up.
Even when you want to give
But
up, even if you
sometimes you
have to
need.
take a break, come back to
To,
it. Because I think, yeah, nothing wrong with taking a break, a reset. Everybody needs a reset sometimes, and we need to pause.
yeah, yeah, you just need to do that sometimes, and come back refreshed and ready to go, and if you're lucky enough, you meet the right people, and people who believe in your talent. And I'm hoping that the people who are listening to this show will take the opportunity and check out my music at johnmichaelferrari.com. It's on Spotify, or you can go Reverb Nation, and or on YouTube. You just put in my song and take a listen. There's a variety of music. There's like some songs are country. Some people say, oh, he's a country artist or he's a pop artist. Now, here's an interesting thing, is we're played on not only country stations, but pop stations. So we're kind of like a crossover. Mm-hmm. Our music goes both ways. And the way that happened is in our songs, you'll usually hear a little slide guitar in there. So that makes it like, oh, hey, he's definitely country. I hear that slide guitar. And other times, no, it's more pop. It just has that slide guitar in there, but he's more pop.
So you're a little of both.
A little of both.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so johnmichaelferrari.com is your website.
Yeah.
And so how else could they find you? Are you on Instagram? Are you on TikTok? Are you on any of the social media platforms?
I think we're on all of them. We're on every.
On all of them?
To get us out there everywhere we can, and if you're coming to Pahrump, be sure to give us a call. We meet a lot of people on the road, and if we like them, we say, come by the ranch and say hello,
Oh. Okay, so what's your handle on Instagram?
John Michael Ferrari.
John Michael, all the best to you, and certainly for this upcoming venture in Nashville. Good luck to you. And this has been fun, and we really appreciate you coming on and reaching out to us.
Well, this has been fun. Absolutely. I'm glad we got everything working. Because
we got everything working. We did.
Yes. Sometimes we can't get the microphone working. Like it worked yesterday. I don't know what's wrong.
Yeah. What's going on? What's happening? Yeah. Okay. And thank you so much again, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.